Footnotes, how do they even work? If you are a person who likes to cite their own personal notes, just in case somebody on the internet says sources, this is for you. Actually, I want to start by asking you, how do you use footnotes? Because I'm more of a parenthetical citation kind of person. I speak in asides, and that carries over into my vault. I put everything in parenthesis right there in the sentence. It gets unwieldy. I can see the appeal of footnotes, but beyond adding citations in Chicago style or something like that, please put it in the comments how you use footnotes in a way that I would have never thought about. So fill me in, help me understand how you use footnotes, because I want to show you how footnotes work and then 2 plugins that make them work good. And there was just a recent update to Footnotes as of the time that I'm recording this. So if you didn't know about it and you've not used them in a while, the update might help you reevaluate it and go, okay, this is something that I'm going to try. And then especially with these 2 plugins, it's exactly how you would think they should work. You can make them work like this. So without any further ado, let's jump into it.
Hey, look at that. We are back in the YouTube demo vault. As always, I am rocking a stock install of Obsidian without a whole bunch of bells and whistles. We will start clean, install what we need to, and I'm not going to edit out any of the fumbles so that you can see that an idiot like me who can't figure it out the first time can get it working eventually. So you don't have to worry about being perfect or being a coder. I'm a visual artist, I'm a performer, I'm a speaker, I like drawing, I am not a coder, and that part is to help you appreciate that I'm not some whiz kid that is fantastic at coding in order to make this stuff work. So anyway, we are here to talk about footnotes, and we're going to show you how footnotes work, and then 2 plugins, like I already said in the intro, so we will just dive right in. We're going to make a new file, Command N. I'm on a Mac, whatever it is for Windows, I don't know. So here we go, footnote example file. Okay, so here's how I think footnotes would work, and yeah, we'll just go into it. So let's say that we've got we have an example sentence, and we want to add a citation here. You open bracket, up caret 1, close bracket, and then down here at the bottom, we can hit enter a whole bunch of times or whatever. And here's bracket, up caret 1, close bracket, colon, then space. Now you can write your footnote. Then you have to go back up and continue your thought here. That's how I thought that footnotes should work, and they do work this way, but as you can see, there's a whole lot of having to hit enter and go down to where the footnotes are, and then have to take your hands off the keyboard to then go to your mouse and then come back and click. It's a whole lot of wasted time and energy, and that bums me out. So the way that I see it work better is completely backwards to me, which is if you come down here and then make the reference first to reference goes here. So if you make the footnote first, then come back to where you're going to cite it, then when you do the up caret, it autofills, and then you can just go, hey, reference goes there. Great, hit enter. So I guess this makes sense if you know what books you're going to cite, and then you add them all at the beginning, and then they will autocomplete for you there. So I guess that's the proper way to do it. I don't know. If I'm goofy, let me know. Tell me how it makes sense to you, but to me that is goofy backwards. So yeah, Then there are a couple of other things, which is, okay, if I put the 1 here and the 2 there, and then I'm like, oh, I have to cite this instead, caret 3, and then come down here and let's do number 4 goes here is number 4, and I'm going to leave that misspelled because I can. Okay, so now number 3 is there, and now when I do this, I can reference number 4, and you can see that they are out of order in the footnote and the autofill. So they're out of sequence here. So that you're like, okay, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But what's weird is I'm in the preview version of interacting with the note. If you go up to this and then click reading mode, it auto fixes the sequence in the text references and in the order of the footnotes. And you can click here and it will take you to the correct place. And when you mouse over, it'll show you what the footnote is, which is handy if you've got a whole bunch of text and you can't see the footer and the text at the same time. So you can jump between them and it goes down there, or you can click there and it takes you up there. So that's kind of cool. So when you're reading, it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4. But then when you go back to the preview version, it hasn't actually fixed it. It's just a pretty way of organizing it for you while leaving it in the way that you had it. Because here's another thing. I was like, I wonder, instead of having numbers, can I do words instead? And you know what? You sure can. So up caret words. Okay, so now that totally works. And then you can do a multiple word one, but you can't do spaces, because if you do person name here, it doesn't turn it into a footnote. You're just like, what's going on? So instead, you would have to add a dash in the middle. Then it will function as a footnote. So you can't have any spaces. It has to be contiguous. So kebab case or camel case should work. And then, so then when you come back up here and you do that, you can see that there's words and person name. So it's recognizing it as a footnote, saying that you can autofill, and then it will show you the word there in the reference. But then the same thing happens when you go to view it. It just counts it as a number, and the reference is still here. But when you go back to edit, there's still the way that you like. So that is kind of how to use footnotes as it is now. It's easiest if you add all of your citations first, then you can reference them while you're typing without having to go back and forth. But if you're like me and you're using footnotes for extra details or a parenthetical aside, and you're having to go back and forth, it doesn't work. It makes no sense. So these are the two plugins that I want to show you that will kind of make them work the way that I would imagine they should work. Now, at this point, here's another detail, is that the recent update to Obsidian, as of the time that I'm recording this, they improved it by putting important interface elements behind more clicks. So if you're a designer that works at Obsidian, please give me back the ability to have the settings and vault switcher from the side. separate from the ribbon because I do like hiding the ribbon, so awesome job on that. But putting the vault switcher and the settings behind a click, so now I have to open this up, then I can come down here and click settings or click my vault. So I really don't like that. But you know what? I have a way around it. I've got the command, comma, go to settings feature. Haha, it works. So here we go, browse. The first one that we're going to do is a footnote shortcut. And this is kind of awesome. You can read through all of this, but you install it and then enable it and go to options, and you can say enable footnote auto suggest. So yeah, go ahead and like that. If you like auto enabled, cool, go for it. And I do kind of like adding a footnote section heading called footnotes. You can call this whatever you want. If you have a new note template that you can put it there, cool. There are all sorts of ways of making this work, but this is one way of accomplishing what you might want. Now, here, you're not done. You're not done yet because it doesn't auto-enable a keyboard shortcut, and that's what we're looking for. This plugin makes it possible to function the way that you want, but the way that you trigger that function is a hotkey, and it doesn't want to interfere with anything that you've already got. So it doesn't auto-bind to a particular hotkey. So from here, you have to remember to go to hotkeys, then in filter, type in footnote. And now you can see these two are blank, but you've got two options. Do you want to add a numbered footnote, and or do you want to add named footnotes? So if you like words for your footnote references, awesome. You can enable this however you like. And then if you want to enable numbered footnotes, I would just go with numbers. That kind of makes the most sense to me. But you could say, okay, I want the numbered footnotes to be Command-Shift-1, and that will trigger a numbered footnote. Or I could hit Command-Shift-2, and then it looks like Command-Shift-2 interferes with the program that I'm using to record this. So that's fun. Anyway, I wanted to do that because there's actually a Command-Shift-2. Nope. Dang it. There's a interference with Command-Shift-2, which is a pop-up. So show calendar pop-up has already taken Command-Shift-2. And Obsidian will show you, it'll just be like, hey, there's interference. That hotkey is already taken by this function. So then if that's the case, you can come and you're like, you know what? I never show calendar pop-up. I don't even know what in the world that is. I've never used that hotkey ever in my life. So I'm going to remove it, and then you can go add it to your footnote, and that will work it. But I actually like Command-Shift-F. Oh, there we go. So this is exactly what it is. So it goes one command with conflicts. And it would be kind of awesome if it showed you what that conflict is, but it just tells you up here, and then you could scroll through and, oh, look at that. I've got a interference with whatever this is. Okay. So yeah, I've got conflicts all over the place in here. Okay, so Excalibur. Anyway, this is not a how to resolve conflicts video, but you can come here and then Command-Shift-F, and it will filter by the hotkeys that you've got assigned as opposed to the command that it triggers. So that's super useful. If you don't know that, that's a pro tip number 478 hidden inside this video. Anyway, so I don't want to search in all files. I never used that hotkey, so now there's no conflict. It will work just fine. So now the auto-numbered footnote will trigger with Command-Shift-F, and then the Command-Shift-1 we didn't bind, so let's clear that. Go back to footnote, and then the named footnote we'll just do as a Command-Shift-1 just so you can see what it is. Okay, so now imagine we've got a whole bunch of text, and I'll just insert all of this. This is my bacon lipsum, if you've never heard about that. There you go. And say you are in the middle here typing along, and then you can hit Command-Shift-F, and it happens instantly, like that fast, because it adds the number right here. It added the number and all the characters that it needed, and then automatically took you all the way down to the bottom, and it has the bracket up caret 5 close bracket colon whatever, and it puts you right here where you can add the note. Then Command-Shift-F, it takes you right back to where you were so you can keep typing. And then, hey, let's add another one. Command-Shift-F. The extra one goes here, and you can see that it's 6. Command-Shift-F. And we keep trucking. Voila. So now, with a keyboard shortcut, you don't have to take your hands off the keyboard. You can add a footnote, type it in, get back to where you were, all without taking your hands from home row if you set up your shortcut properly. So you can go back and forth all day long if you wanted to. Blah, blah, blah. Boom. And you're back to the races. That's pretty cool. But here's a bummer of a situation. I added more text down here. Then, as I come back up, let me add another footnote. And hey, look at that. It automatically goes to the very, very bottom of the document. And the next footnote always goes to the bottom. So now I have a super messy footnote section. Maybe, I don't know why you would do it this way, but maybe you messed up, Ron, and you put your stuff down here. So then Command-Shift-F, you go back and you continue, but now your footnotes are all janky. What do you do? Also, if you've got these out of order, well, you are in luck when you're in reading mode, but you know, it just looks like it's fixed. It's not actually fixed, because when you go back to editing, it looks like 3, 4, person name 1, words 2. It's all out of sorts. So the second plugin helps us solve this issue. So this will also get cleaned up as well. And to do that, we're going to go back into our settings, Command, comma, go to Community Plugins, Browse, and we are looking for Linter, updated 10 days ago. So you know it's got to be good. So install, enable, let's go to options, and it's the X squared that we are looking for. Footnote after punctuation or before, I don't know. I like footnotes before punctuation because it goes with the idea, not the period or whatever. But if you want to enforce that, you can enforce that here. Then move footnotes to the bottom. I'm like, yeah, I want to make sure that the only thing at the bottom of the document, no matter how goofy I got, it just moves all the footnotes, makes them nice and tidy down there at the bottom. Awesome. Then, if you want to re-index footnotes, then you can enable it here. But the caveat is this rule does not work if there's more than one footnote for a key. So I don't know exactly what that means. I haven't played around enough to find what that edge case is. So let's see if we run into it. I don't think so, but who knows? Now, like the other plugin, it doesn't auto enable a hotkey. So once you enable these, now let's go to hotkeys and then put in linter. And these are the different lint functions. I don't know why it's called lint either. I'm sure one of you computer folk coders can tell me where it comes from. But anyway, we are going to lint the current file. And the only thing that we've done is to enable the footnotes, and it looks like it's carrying it over from a previous run through that I was doing. But for me, the hotkey I like is to click add the Command Shift L for lint this file, and there it is. Also, yeah, there's another detail that I like, which is lint on save. I don't understand that because Obsidian autosaves everything all the time, so that's kind of great. But I do like a display message on lint to see that, okay, it did the thing. And there are all sorts of options you can go through. Maybe I will explore all of what Linter can do and do a whole video about that. But for right now, it's just this thing about footnotes that makes it so cool to me. So now we've got it ready, and we've got this super janky, out of whack footnote section. We've got all sorts of messed up references here. And here we go. We hit Command Shift L, and voila. It just re-indexed everything. And as you can see, it hates words. So if you really, really like the word-based footnotes, I haven't figured out a way to help Linter preserve those words. When it says re-index, it's like, all right, man, I'm going to just renumber everything. So it will only use numbers for that. So there you go. So it wipes out all the words, adds numbers in the actual correct sequence. So you can see 7, 8, 9, 10. And then all the way down here, it adds one line and then moves the text here. And then everything is properly numbered and arranged and tidy. So then we could add a whole lot here. Command Shift L, and voila, it just goes pop, pop, pop. And we could even cut that, add that there, intentionally try to mess it up, and it goes right back to the way that it should be. So there you go. If you've never used footnotes before, hopefully you see that it can be done and done well in a way that makes them super fast. And that's pretty much everything that I wanted to share from the screen share. And now I want to tell you about a couple more things at the good camera.
And that is how it all works. So give it a try. Let me know if you do. Put it in the comments. I know I already asked you to tell me how you use footnotes. And now that you know how to use them even better, tell me how you're going to use them from now on. Also, if you have an idea or a request for an Obsidian video that I haven't done already, or if you want me to revisit something that I have done already, let me know as well. I want to make cool stuff that you enjoy and you get use out of, because this program is phenomenal. And if you are building your own personal knowledge database, my bet is that you also want to do something with it. You don't want to just catalog everything. You want to have a body of knowledge that you can leverage to create other cool stuff in the world. And that's why I wanted to tell you about my +1creator.com project, which is helping you make a living doing cool stuff that you enjoy doing, that's easy for you but difficult for your clients. So that means that they're going to pay you for it. So I've been a professional creator of performances and writing and artwork since I was 13 years old, and I'm 41 years old right now. So I want to share everything that I can. So come check me out over there at +1creator.com. And in the meantime, check out the playlist of Obsidian videos that I've got, and consider subscribing to this channel if you like weird stuff about making neat things that nobody else in the world would have made if it wasn't for you. So that's it for now. Remember, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.